I'm wearing my dinner jacket and I'm wearing my beautiful white shirt. Now, some people tell me it's my clown jacket, but I think it's my dinner jacket. And you can't imagine how far I chased the guy to get this. But we're here again back at the wonderful Kedem Winery in upstate New York. It's a beautiful place to sit on the veranda and sip some wine. And Tara, who runs the tasting room, is amazing. Today, we're here to talk about wines for the Seder.
Exactly.
And I'm here with
Pesach is coming.
I'm here with my good friend Gabe.
We're going to drink a lot of wine. That's one of the big, mitzvot of Pesach, of the Passover Seder, is to drink those 4 cups of wine. So it's a lot of wine. You don't want something that's too heavy. So I decided to choose here to start with rosé, which is pretty lighter in alcohol also than most other dry wines. But it counts, rosé counts as red wine. I also chose the amazing new Lineage wine, the Pinot Noir.
Lineage!
Lineage!
Stop with your European accent. It's lineage, not lineage.
Lineage.
Okay, go ahead.
Got it right?
Got it right.
Pinot Noir, it's a very fragrant variety, lighter in body, so it's also perfect for drinking, a good quantity, especially if you have to gulp it down, like many people do at the Seder. And then we have an amazing Bordeaux, Château Larcis Jaumat here, and we have one of the very best Israeli wines, the Carmel Limited Edition. That's a heavy, full-bodied wine. We're going to taste it. That's a wine that will be perfect for the meal that you have, in the middle of the Seder. You have a meal with a lot of food. So there, at that point, you may wine something, that has more body.
It's very curious. You also brought what looks like a spirit of some kind.
Yeah. People always complain, I don't know what to drink on Yom Tov for Pesach, besides the wine. People who like usually drink the rest of the year to drink bourbon or scotch.
See, because I make Kiddush in the morning, I make Kiddush on a shot.
Yeah.
Again, ask your local rabbi. Don't take my word for it. But I make Kiddush on a shot. So you're telling me that this spirit is can replace that?
Absolutely.
That scotch that I usually have, or the bourbon that I usually have?
Absolutely. It's delicious.
Let's start with the rosé.
Here we go. Flam Rosé 2017.
And what is the varietal?
Okay, so we have here 52% Syrah, 30% Cabernet Franc, and 18% Merlot. It comes from the Judean Hills. And amazing winemakers.
Fresh, clean, without, fruity without being sweet.
It's delicious.
But it's also got, I was just going to say, it's got that acidity.
Mm-hmm. The acidity, the minerals.
Yeah.
It's a delicious
Very nice
wine. It's a delicious wine.
Okay, let's move on.
Herzog Lineage.
Lineage, yeah.
Lineage.
I don't blame you.
Pinot Noir.
You're a good guy, but you're a foreigner, Wow, classic Pinot Noir. Classic Pinot Noir aroma. I haven't tasted it yet, but I tell you, that berry, strawberry,
Cranberries.
Pomegranate, but mostly strawberries,
red fruit.
Red fruit.
Red
right.
berries. That's typical of Pinot Noir.
And
very
just
fragrant.
Bursting out of the glass,
Even some floral aromas.
Right. I was going to say like roses.
Rose. Yeah.
Yeah.
People, tend to be confused about the fact that red wines are supposed to be served at room temperature, except that room temperature rule for the red wines refers to room temperature in a French castle. Which is not 72 degrees, that I can tell you.
It's a little bit chilly.
Not I have ever lived in a French castle.
But this is great. What is the retail on this?
The retail on this is $19.99.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is going to be a winner.
Yeah.
But if you want to take the lineage and you're going to someone's home, or you're going to your mechutin, or your kids are coming to you, or you're going to your kids, this is a great gift wine too, because it's gorgeous. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. This is the Larcis.
Larcis. Château Larcis Jaumat, Saint-Émilion, Grand Cru. It is based on Merlot. I think it's 90% Merlot and 10% Cabernet Franc.
Wow. You know what's great about the aromas of these great Bordeaux is the complexity. It's not You know, on the one hand, Americans and New World wine drinkers like this forward fruit, burst your nose with flavor and your mouth too. But I think as you grow in wine tasting, you'll want something a little bit more complex and a little bit more
complex, subtle,
layered.
And also you want wine that, you know, you have to think a little bit about it. You want to, you know, taste and retaste and try. Carmel Limited Edition.
Now, there are some things in common between this one and the last one we had.
Well, the Carmel Limited Edition is a Bordeaux style blend. It's 65% Cabernet Sauvignon, 31% Petit Verdot, and 4% Malbec. Now, an interesting fact. In Bordeaux, they're going to use the Petit Verdot grape, you know, in very small percentages, because it's a grape that really needs a hot climate to fully ripen. So they're going to use that grape more to add some acidity to the wine and tannins, the bitterness that comes really from the skins and from the seeds of the grapes. Here, 31%. I don't know of any Bordeaux wine that has 31% Petit Verdot. There are some that have, you know, 10, 15, even maybe 20%, but it's still pretty unusual. This one has a high percentage of Petit Verdot because it's a grape variety that thrives in the Israeli climate.
Right off the bat, the aromatics, the aroma of this, what we in wine speak call the nose, is bursting with flavor and fruit, bursting with forward drinking, New World style smell.
That's true at this point, but I think that as the wine will age, that fruit will partially recede and some of the secondary and tertiary aromas will come out, giving it a bit of a Bordeaux feel to it, you know, earth.
Also, if you take a look at when I do this and you see the driplets start to fall, what we call legs in wine speak, there's so many, which would indicate, and I just tasted it and it's true, that it's a very viscous, very full-bodied wine. And this is full-bodied, but what's interesting about it is even though the aroma is clearly new, to me, is clearly New World at this point, and the body is in some ways clearly New World, the complexity is not.
Yep.
The complexity is very interesting. It's got a lot of things going on.
Last but not least, we're going to taste a spirit that's kosher for Passover, kosher for Pesach.
Now wait a second. This is called Louis Royer. I recognize this as a treif cognac, not a kosher cognac. Can you explain that to me?
Of course I can. You know, just as much as, you know, Château, Larcis, Jaumat is not a Jewish, it's not a kosher winery. They make, that's the first one, a kosher run, a kosher cuvée. The same we have been doing with Louis Royer for quite a few years now.
So it is in fact not generally a kosher
It's not
distillery.
generally kosher, but we make a kosher run there.
There is cognac, then there's VS, then there's VSOP, then there's XO.
VS is very special, XO is extra old. I think
And VSOP?
VSOP, I believe, is very special old
Product. That's
yeah,
what it
I
is.
guess so.
Produce.
And
I
got a blank
each one
for
of
the
those,
P here.
so that you don't know, maybe you don't know, but each one of those indicates how much time it spends in barrel.
Exactly. There's
So-
a minimum for each level.
Right. The minimum, by the way, is 3 years for any cognac.
3 years for VS is the minimum.
VSOP is at least 5 years.
I think it's at least 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And XO is at least 6 years.
Okay. But most XOs, as I understand it, especially
Are a lot more, usually
are
than 6
at
years,
least 8 years. Why is this distilled product kosher for Pesach?
Okay, so that's a great question, Jay. Cognac is grape brandy. It's distilled from grapes.
Okay.
Because it's distilled, the halacha is that you make a shehakel. You don't, the bracha, the blessing on cognac is shehakel. It's not borei pri hagafen.
You know what has a nice, sweet, almost caramel aroma?
And you should know that Louis Royer is one of the most famous, one of the most prestigious cognac houses in France.
Well, L'chaim,
L'chaim,
this has been
enjoy.
actually a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Always a lot of fun with you. L'chaim, Pesach Kosher v'Sameach.
Amen.